popularly called keke napep drivers, operating in parts of Port Harcourt, are appealing to the Rivers State government to reconsider the ban on their operations on major roads in the city. Well, it comes as the Rivers State Ministry of Transport said the ban on civil operations on major roads within Port Harcourt metropolis still stands. But speaking of this, riders tell our correspondent that the ban on operations on major roads will affect their livelihoods.
Survive. I be more go rob, more go thief. Because if your bank account will run now, that is, they go tell my now I can increase criminal. You go hard also. When they know first, how just they work for your shop.
If they must ban us, then they will make provision for us. Because if there is no any provision, it doesn't make any sense. The reason because there is no job. Many of us are graduates. We are using this keke to help ourselves. So if they must ban us here, they make a provision like a park where we will be parking and be loading our passengers again. So I think with that, there will be no problem.
It don't make sense. Because everything plenty na young boy that this keke Tuesday sunset. If they stop am, thief go plenty.
We know they cause any problem here. Maybe they fit provide park around this area where we say taxi fit come drop who they carry.
Well, on their part, some residents say the conduct of some keke napep drivers on major roads is worrisome. They, however, advocated against a ban on their operations and proposed alternative regulatory measures to tackle the issues associated with their operations.
When you want go where they go very fast, you get people they know how to maybe when they are in traffic, they will not to double cross the buses. They are very awful if it's down. Make government no ban them. They have their own way they are helping people to.
Even if they want to stop them, sure major road, all these locations.
The way the keke people they take drive, some no they drive home in the behave. If government to follow them, we go fine. That to ban them, then they from there survive.
Just like this way side, pepperoni, you go see two cars park with small space. They go drive boom. I enter boat one day and keke just drive come big side mirror. They are driving them mostly reckless.
If they stop, they want carry it or they want give them job. No, I beg, make them no pursue them, make them leave them. It's just a caution them to know they drive rough.
Well, recall that the Rivers State Commissioner for Transport, Jacobson Mbina, urged keke napep operators to obey the ban as the state government will soon implement the operation Leave Major Roads and Streets.
For the past how many years, there has not been any school like Calabar Girls High School, but
there are streets and roads they ask them to fly, but they are operating on major roads and streets which the former government gave a ban. That ban still stands, and they must obey it before we implement the operation Leave the Major Roads and Streets, because that operation will soon come up. They know they are supposed to obey the rules. So once that operation is coming up, we the same way.
In September 2020, the state government banned the operations of tricycle riders along the Aba Road, Ikwere Road, entire Old Port Harcourt Town, Borokeri Axis, Ada George Road, Airport Road, Eastern Bypass, Old Aba Road, Ilabi, Elahia and West Roads. Others are from Garrison, Enti to Choba, Rumukurusi, Ekahia, Neka Igurut, Slaughter G, Ugba to Clear, Oil Mill, Elelwo, Akbado, Gulf Estate to Bajo, Maja to Mbogo. From that, the 8-year-old man who was in says he has been found. Told that his daughter, Bakare Bosidi, told Nigerian House on Wednesday. Mrs. Bosidi, in an interview with our correspondent, said have found yesterday around that axis with bruises all over her body.
I came to allow us to cover my father from Ada George by Chinda. So when we saw him, bruises all over his body, he's weak, he cannot talk, but we have brought him home and he's undergoing treatment. So I came to say thank you, we have found him.
Moving on, opposition political parties in Rivers State have been urged to collaborate with the PDP for the betterment of Rivers people. The chairman of Ogoni Sim Vanguard, Marvin Yobana, made the call on Nigerian 4FM's Morning Crossfire program today. He said the Rivers State government is operating a unity government and will not be partial in its appointments, as new appointments will cut across other local political parties.
This government, remember that all offices have not been filled yet by the governor. So there are still rooms are still open for those who are willing to join hands with him and build the state. So I think we are running a unity government in Nigeria. So all those persons who are opposition parties who feel that they have something to offer to make themselves available.
Mr. Yobana also appealed to the National Assembly to amend the Electoral Act to ensure automatic transmission of results from polling units in future elections.
We have found out the cause, and we are advocating that the foreign national assembly should do something about it. More especially like the automatic transmission of election results should be from the unit.
In another development, the Senate has confirmed 3 additional ministerial nominees. The nominees are Jamila Ibrahim from Kwara State, Balarabe Lawal from Kaduna State, and Ayodele Olawande from Ondo State. Their confirmation is in addition to the 45 approved by the Red Chamber in August. Well, earlier, in a dramatic event, one of the nominees, Balarabe Lawal, after completing his introduction, calls him several people present rushed to his screening, which was live on television, showed stars rally around the ministerial nominee, and the Senate President Godswill Akpabio was then heard telling the camera crew covering the screen to leave, and also beckoning on someone to bring the nominee.
Water, give me water and sugar. Get sugar and water.
Well, Mr. Lawal was later revived. The PDP in Benue State and her governorship candidates in the 2023 governorship election, Title Soba, have appealed the judgments of the Governorship Petitions Tribunal. Held that it lacked jurisdiction to entertain pre-election issues raised by Mr. Oba and PDP. Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Olukaibol, his opinion, no matter how serious or weighty they might be, cannot supersede the Constitution. The CJN stated this after administering the oath of office to the newly appointed judges of the Federal High Court of Nigeria, where he said justices and judges in the country, despite attacks, applied constitutional provisions to adjudicate on cases assigned to them. Still to come, federal government to increase enrollment into medical dental schools. Stay tuned. For health and social welfare, federal government will increase admissions into medical institutions from 5,000 to 10,000. The plan is expected to begin from the next academic year. Well, Dr. Alausa said this at the induction ceremony of foreign-trained medical and dental graduates by the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria in Abuja. The first that been affected by diphtheria, Executive Director of the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Faisal Shuaib,
this nation has long been humanity's armor against deadly diseases, and diphtheria is no exception. The federal government recognizes the power of vaccines in safeguarding public health, and our response to this outbreak centers around the belief that vaccination is our most formidable weapon.
On his part, the Director General of the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention, NCDC, Ifedayo Adetifa, said the National Rapid Response Team was recently deployed to offer on-site surveillance and response support to affected states.
We deployed National Rapid Response Teams to Kano, Yobe, Katsina, Bauchi, Borno, and Zamfara to support quick response across all places. So in terms of numbers, we have had now 13,204 reported suspected cases, out of which 8,406 have been confirmed, and these cases have now come from 19 states, including the FCT.
Well, Dr. Adetifa also said the federal government is finalizing plans to establish a national diphtheria laboratory for the testing of suspected diphtheria cases. In business, a new report by the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has raised concerns about Nigeria's digital currency, e-Naira, indicating potential risks to financial stability. Recall that the e-Naira was launched in October last year and aimed to narrow the country's financial inclusion gap. But a CBN report titled Economics of Digital Currency explained that funds converted by customers into e-Naira are held within wallets domiciled with the CBN, rendering them unavailable for lending activities by commercial banks. In entertainment, a magistrate's court in Lagos State today remanded Azeez Fashola, also known as Naira Marley, and Lagos Balole Super Samari to 21 days. The Lagos Police Command had requested for 30 days to enable them complete their investigation into the death of late Afrobeat star Mohbad. But the magistrate, Adeola Olatobosu, ruled that Naira Marley and the others be remanded for just 21 days. In the meantime, the Lagos State Police Command has declared a childhood friend of late singer Mohbad wanted, Owodunni Ibrahim, also known as Prime Boy, where he was declared wanted after he failed to honor police invitation since the start of the into Mohbad's death. In sports, World Football Governing Body FIFA says the 2030 World Cup will be held across 6 countries in 3 continents. Spain, Portugal and Morocco have been named as the co-hosts, with the opening 3 matches taking place in Uruguay, Argentina and Paraguay. Well, the opening matches in South America are to mark the World Cup's 100 years since the inaugural tournament in Montevideo. Well, the decision will be ratified at a FIFA Congress next year.
And now, we'll bring you news from around the world.
11 opposition parties in Zambia have joined forces to condemn the economic hardships they say have risen under President Hakainde Hichilema. Well, leaders from the parties who held a joint press briefing today said they were concerned and have called for a national conference to discuss the state of the country. In an open letter to President Hichilema, they listed 18 issues, among them the very high price of basic goods and the arbitrary arrests and constant harassment of members of the opposition. Well, that's the news. But before we go, let's have a recap. On the news this evening, you heard that the ban on tricycle operations on major roads in Port Harcourt has sparked reactions from operators. A missing 80-year-old man has been found along Ada George 1 week after. The Senate has confirmed 3 new ministerial nominees. The CJN says public opinions cannot override the Constitution. A High Court in Lagos State has remanded Zish to the federal government says it's planning to increase enrollment to medical school from 1,000 to 10,000. Quarantine, 11 opposition parties in Zambia have joined forces to condemn the economic hardship that they say have risen under President Hakainde Hichilema. The news was edited by Martha Okekem, Claudia in Port Harcourt this evening. The news team send SMS or WhatsApp to 0808 721 the prosperity of a nation. Let's peace. Good evening.